Okay, sweet. You bitch. Right, gonna have to adjust for 2 beeps now. Hello, welcome back. So today I'm sat here with my lovely lead actor and was it co-director?
So yeah,
I think you're down as co-director, Harry, who is here to break down the timeline for our short film Douglas, which was a nightmare to shoot. I think we should start with the shoot.
Yeah. I think it was a nightmare to shoot, but I think we handled it in a pretty reasonable manner. I mean, there's a bit of time scales that were all fucked around, but I think we did what we could.
Our initial shoot failed quite badly because we had an actor who turned up and then injured himself after the shoot. Couldn't come back for the second day. It was all pretty poorly produced.
Yeah, I wasn't on this shoot though.
No, this was
the project
shoot.
Beforehand.
Yeah.
I was off filming a much better film with my group.
Yeah, no, I've got credit. That will be coming out on the.
In the studio.
Can you plug it?
Yeah.
That'll be coming out on Cavalry's, or is it? I don't know which side it comes up.
It depends if you mirror the footage. If you mirror the
does.
footage, come up that side. If it's not, come up that side.
It will be up
there.
the Cavalry channel at some point, so yeah, check it out when it comes out. But yeah, for Douglas, it was shot almost entirely in one day, apart from
a couple of pickups for dialogue and.
The pickups were shot with our lovely AC, who's sat behind the camera or over near the camera vaguely, not doing their job. Good job. And yeah, so it was all shot in one day.
Yep.
We have 3 different locations, is it?
Yeah,
location
3.
here.
So we've got the bus here and then.
So yeah, this one was shot on the road behind my flat, and we took out the gimbal to get. If we play it from here, there is a nice walking shot with the gimbal of you walking towards the camera, and then we track into the biscuits, which become, as if you've seen the film, become sort of.
The biscuits are meant to be the centre of attention in that frame.
And this shot here I loved because I saw a straight line down to the river, buildings either side, and it's nice wide open. And I thought we'll get a nice shot of him walking across the bottom. We can have a nice title across the top. Yeah. The title which I made in Canva, which I then blended in. I don't know if any of it is on the timeline, but yeah, so you can see here I've sort of green screened all this in. I don't know how do I bin off the key actually. So yeah, you can see it's just overlaid on and there's a nice drop shadow to it there. But yeah, that was if anything the easiest part of the shoot.
Yeah, we got that in between it raining.
Yeah, it just started raining as we were filming that last shot.
We were like running to set this up, and then we had several people who were walking across the background without realising.
Yeah.
And then on this last shot, literally the last one we took,
we wait for the guy to pick up his toilet paper and then walk
we
off.
wait for a guy to pick up his toilet paper, and then there was an old man who was smiling and trying to talk to me off shot, and I was like trying to politely ignore him while walking, but that actually led to a moment that Jay likes, where I can't kind of like look up at the title in a way.
There's just as he gets under the G, he kind of turns and he looks backwards, and I'm sort of thinking I should have blended it with the building as well, so it looks like you're looking back at it. But I said, if you look, there's a certain frame in it. I think it's about it. Oh, it's a bit further on. It's about here. We get full on Abbey Road.
Yeah.
I thought it's a nice sort of.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to being akin to the Beatles.
Which one would you be? Who's the one wearing denim?
Is it Harrison?
I think it's Harrison because he's supposedly Gravedigger in the step. Anyway, so yeah, this first shot is possibly the best part of the film because a lot.
I mean, other than the story itself and what. Yeah. I mean, shot wise, probably.
It was certainly the easiest to film. I mean, the other one we shot just before this, we started off the day. Harry turned up before any of the other crew did.
An hour early, like I meant to.
Everyone else turned up an hour late, so we just had the gimbal and we had camera.
Yeah,
so we dropped all the gear here, and we basically went, right, we want to get this shot, which led to, I believe it's
a bus shot.
So we have a really nice shot here of. We tried to do it with sort of whip pans and stuff, and we have Harry running for the bus. So the story is Harry's missed the bus and he's turned up late and he's had like a really annoying day.
Yeah.
I need to stop saying Harry, it's Douglas, isn't it?
Yeah, it is Douglas. But,
So,
I mean, in my head, Douglas is an old Scottish man, but you know,
yeah,
we rebranded.
yeah, no, I couldn't be bothered to make you do the accent.
The accent. Well, I don't think that would be the issue. I think the prosthetics. I mean, I know I look older than I am. But
Yeah,
I'm
no.
fucking old.
No, you're a child, right? So we thought we'd shoot with some nice whip pans for you running for the bus. Which led to a lot of fun trying to match the shot speed of turning the camera, and of course we're shooting on a rolling shutter camera rather than a global shutter, so we have that awful, as soon as you start to turn the camera everything goes like that. But I think if we watch that back,
It sort of works.
it works out alright, because we whip pan out into this shot here and you run for the bus and then we cut to the bus.
Yeah.
So I think there's a nice cut there with the flashback as well, which I thought would go sort of old style TV, try and go typical and
Yeah, because we did have a whip pan off of that shot, didn't we?
we did.
But obviously you cut it out and added the flash instead. Which kind of makes sense because if we're cutting back to this, then you're not going to have a whip on the other end because we didn't whip into this shot.
Yeah, no, that's true. I kind of like the way we cut that. I mean,
Yeah.
in terms of editing, that's one of my favourite scenes in the whole thing. If we go back to the timeline, I think the other important thing we talk about when we say it was run and gun all shot in one day was the audio was a nightmare to cut.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. Like, obviously Jay did the editing, but on set I just knew the audio was going to be something to be desired.
Yeah, we didn't shoot audio for the key scene with the other actor where it's a full shot, reverse shot, because there's no dialogue. The whole point is you don't talk and it's sort of played off through the acting.
Yeah.
But when we were shooting audio, we were shooting audio somewhere public. And did we find the shot?
Yes, it's just the one. Yeah.
So behind Harry on this, there are a load of broadcast students waiting to go and record a TV show or an awards show.
Yeah, it was an awards ceremony kind of thing.
Being really loud, and we're shooting on a shotgun mic on a lighting pole because we didn't have a boom for this shoot.
Insert picture.
Yeah, we can do better than that, I promise. Our studio, please hire us. We are professionals, most certainly. So yeah, there's loads of broadcast students out of shot. We're trying to shoot with a directional microphone on a lighter pole.
In the 30-second spaces between them talking and screaming and everything.
Yeah, and also the fact you can't quite see here, but we're in a 7-story tall hall.
Essentially a massive warehouse that's been converted into a uni. But yeah, we were on like floor 3.
Yeah,
so we're like slap bang in the middle of all of that echoey goodness.
And so we cleaned it up, as we're going to have to do this, with Adobe Podcast, which, if you've not seen my video on it, I'll link to it here or here, we can't remember which. It's the best tool for cleaning up audio because it goes through with AI, and then I went through and if we open these tracks up...
Or you can summon a demon out of a kettle.
Oh yeah, no, that's awesome. Should we insert that here? We'll point over there and then we'll slide it over. And we're back, I hope.
Yeah.
If I've edited that in, then
maybe he's a shit editor, and this is what we.
Maybe you shouldn't hire us. No, do hire us. So you'll see Douglas stem enhanced here, which if we solo it, and I play this back,
you wouldn't believe the ordeal I've gone through
really
to get
clipped.
The benefit we had is that our university that we were shooting in at this time has individual kind of like soundproofed cubicles.
Yes.
And that really just gave us like a prompt area to go and shoot the ADR.
Yeah, so we ADR'd 1 or 2 shots, I think. I don't think we ADR'd that much because Adobe Podcast did really well cleaning up the dialogue.
Yeah.
You can see here most of it, that pink track, if you take a look, runs along a lot of it.
Yeah, it was more so just the shots of me talking to the other character we have that we shot in the cubicle.
And I think the trick with that was mixing it with reverb and Atmos as well. Yeah. So you can see down here we have cafe ambience. We've got loads of different ambience, sort of room tone tracks, and we've got a room tone track you recorded on set as well.
Yeah.
So blending that was sort of really vital to getting semi-professional sounding audio.
Yeah, I mean the thing is as well is we had a lot of our crew members who weren't very experienced in the field of work that they were attempting. So for example with the sound, we had someone who wasn't like a sound guy basically. He did his best, but obviously some mistakes turn up and we fix it.
We kind of know who, for professional jobs, who we go to for picking up sound and stuff. But this one we didn't really have a choice, so we just sort of ran with what we had, and considering we ran with what we had, it turned out
exactly. I mean,
decent.
For this film specifically, other than myself and the other actor, everyone was kind of put into a group with no real option, and then they worked from there. So obviously people were doing roles that they weren't particularly comfortable in, but obviously Jay took up the role of director and DOP.
And I semi-produced this one as well, because we had problems with our producer, so I ended up producing this film almost entirely. You helped with some of the bits, but...
Well, I mean, I was kind of running around helping. I was basically a runner, co-director and actor, and I was only meant to be an actor, but I showed
the holy trinity of jobs you don't want. It's the worst thing about being in film school, I'll tell you, he'll tell you, even RAC will tell you, is that you want to be a sound guy, you want to be a writer. No matter what you want to do, you're going to end up being an actor at some point. I've done it twice now, you've done it
many times.
Many times.
I mean, I've even done voiceovers now.
Yeah, he's a great voiceover artist. Can we link that?
So this bloke opens my biscuits and takes one as if I'd bought it just for him. It's like, do I look like I waited here?
Going back to what you were saying about that soundproof booth.
Yeah.
We went in immediately after shooting, while it was all fresh and the way we'd acted it was fresh. We went into the booth and we recorded like the whole set dialogue and all the voiceovers as well. Aspect ratios, I think, would be a good thing.
Yeah.
So we decided if we're going to go with something that's a cross between Edgar Wright and something that's Wes Anderson, we have to play on that sort of aspect ratio changes. Yeah. I think it's a really cheaty way of doing it, but yeah, I mean...
We love the overlays.
I was either going to go 185 or 239 for the Edgar Wright style scene. And I ended up just going with 16:9 because it just looks more natural the way we were shooting it. And especially we shot it framed 16:9 because the monitor wasn't fully up and running at that time. So we didn't have the guides.
The thing is as well, is with the 16:9, everyone's used to seeing video in 16:9.
That's true.
So it has that, because this is the present moment of the film, it kind of makes sense to have that as the reality. And then with the flashbacks, obviously having the aspect ratio change, it physically portrays that there's a difference between these two time spaces. It also kind of alludes to the fact it's just a memory, so it's not an actual documentation of what happened, it's just a memory of how he remembers it happening. So it's sort of interpreted by his own consciousness differently to how it actually happened, and that kind of gets represented through the cinematography, the blocking, and the aspect ratio itself.
And as well, I think from a more technical standpoint, the way we shot it in 16:9, it was shot and edited on a 16:9 timeline.
Yeah.
And so the problem was, if we were going to do it CinemaScope to 4:3, then it would be compressing at the top and then switching and compressing at the sides. And it just looked really unnatural when we did it. So we took it out, and now we have the skips between 16:9 and 4:3, just using an overlay to compress it. So yeah.
I think in this shot, the amount of times we had to go around opening, closing, attempting to make look like a biscuit packet hadn't been opened.
Yeah, the prop design was really fun on this.
The top-down shot.
The top-down shot, God, do we have a photo of that?
I think, we have photos of that.
We have a photo of that, we'll put that in here. We had a really terrible rig for the top-down shot of the table, because there was no way of hanging the camera. We didn't have a lighting stand or anything. So we used the centre stand of a lighting pole with the camera screwed on the end of it, for this shot here. And I screwed my top handle into a cheese plate, mounted that on the tripod. We put the end of the pole into the end of the handle, because luckily it fit perfectly.
Yeah.
And we hung it over the table, and it started to sort of sag halfway through. And it was
We were
so
all like,
scary.
I was kind of sitting there because obviously I'm on the left here of frame. I was sitting there just like with my hands like.
God, don't. Yeah. It was a nightmare. So we're gonna have to find a better jib for that if we have to do that again.
Yeah.
I'm risking my gear.
Anything for the art,
again.
to quote our good friend.
It was terrifying because of course we don't have a remote when we were setting it rolling. We set it rolling and we'd go rolling and wait, because we had to wait for the camera to stop bouncing on the pole. It was horrible.
Yeah, so we had to give it like a good 10 seconds to just stabilise, and then
Luckily
we
we weren't shooting audio because our sound guy ended up holding down the tripod because,
just to stabilise it. Because
that was just real fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously we had the two shot of the two characters.
Yeah.
There is a shot. Where are we? This. I don't know how I managed to save this, but the biscuit.
It breaks.
It broke,
isn't it?
halfway through me eating it, just like in half, and I kind of like. That's a terrible fucking face, but there you go. I managed to save it halfway through, but that's just from an acting standpoint.
Yeah.
That has no filmmaking relevance. I'm just quite impressed. I was able to do that.
That's in terms of acting. That's some of the most impressive stuff.
Give me an
I've seen.
Oscar.
Yeah. Who needs Tom Cruise? He can save a biscuit.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing with this shot is, if you can see out the windows, we tried to blow them out as much as possible because it is overcast outside on this shot.
Yeah.
And we shot this shot and our AC's reverse shot on 2 different days. As you can see here, we had to shoot away from the windows because we didn't want to get sky in, because if the sky was looking different that day, then it'd be a nightmare to match up.
Well, yeah, because initially it was really sunny, and then you got an overcast.
As soon as we started shooting, it became overcast, and it was perfect. So yeah, I'm really happy that happened. And I don't think it's too noticeable that was shot.
No, yeah, I mean, we didn't have any reaction to it in our screening. So, okay, I guess we got away with it.
Yeah.
You guys are probably all going to go watch that back now and go,
Yeah, it's obvious.
But shut up. We couldn't.
Yeah, shut up.
But yeah, we just recorded the 2 shot on 2 different days and worked with the lighting we had. I mean, our colorist did a pretty good job with matching him up
I'm
as well.
very sorry that it didn't work out. The colorist, he will be working on a next film, which we will link, and he's amazing. I'll link him down below because he does some amazing stuff.
Yeah, he's going to be working on our next one of our next releases, or a couple of the next releases.
So thank you, John, for giving us a hand. So the final shot we want to talk about is the flashback shot at the very end.
Yeah.
So just before we hit the punchline, we have that sort of moment of realization of, oh my god, you stole that, I stole this biscuits thing.
Oh my god, you stole his...
I stole his biscuits.
Which, that audio was fun to edit. Getting that sort of timing right between the 2 characters in 2 different
Sort of like
days.
interaction with us not actually being there. Yeah.
Took about 6 takes of you going, oh my god. Our IC behind the camera was the lovely actress in this bit, so yeah, that was excellent. Shit on 2 different days with 2 different people.
Yeah, and then obviously we had the wide with myself and Shadi.
Yes, that was here.
Is the flashback itself, you can see here.
And what I did here was there was a chromatic aberration kind of filter, and it's a blur around the outside of the screen. And this one I decided, rather than going for the 4x3, I should just go with the 16:9 and keep it wide open, because it's
sort of blurring the lines in between as well.
And it's just the final important shot, the moment of realization of him coming in and putting down the paper with biscuits wrapped in it on the table, which already has biscuits on it.
So the beautiful thing is you already know this from the very start, because you see him wrap the biscuits in the newspaper
You do.
when you walk.
Which
so
is,
you know what's coming the whole time, and you're seeing the characters kind of...
It's the realisation. But I don't think many people actually realised in the screening until the very end. It was impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, that was the shoot for Douglas.
That was our film.
Going through the little...
I think for the next one we'll probably do another timeline breakdown.
Yeah. The one for our upcoming film, Dinner and Diatribe, is going to be quite entertaining.
Oh, yes. Yeah. No,
lots to talk about in the pre-production end of that.
That's more of a gossipy one than a technical one, but...
Yeah, and no. we'll see what happens. But yeah,
What you trying to go through 200 actors was
I
excellent.
may or may not have sent over 600 emails. But yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you for watching. We will be doing another video at some point. There should be some more things coming up on the channel at some point. And we will see you guys later. Thank you for watching. And check out Cavalry, either up here, up here,
Yeah, go
or
check
on
our
the end
studio
screen.
out. Like, please, we need help.
Please.